hands, who in the room has ever done or been party to a renovation transaction?
One time.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Most of the time, it's usually 0 to none, which I usually follow it up. Now, granted, we're about 30% out of everybody that raised their hands right there. Most of the time, it's about one person will bring it up, and I'll say, hence the reason why I'm here, is to really get a better understanding of what you can or cannot do with renovation loans. So, fair purchase price, $300,000. Is that fair? Too high? Too low?
Sure.
Right for a house that needs renovation.
Okay, so what is a renovation loan? Renovation loan is really simple. We'll take a $300,000 purchase price that you guys are going to help negotiate from the seller to the buyer, $300,000. And let's just say they want to do $50,000 in repairs. I will take that $300,000 plus the $50,000 plus a 10% contingency reserve of the 50. So 10% of 50,000 is $5,000. I'll add those three numbers together. 300 plus 50 plus 5, 355. Applicable LTV off of that number, meaning down payment off the 355. Conventional borrower, first-time home buyer, 3% of the 355. If they're not a first-time home buyer, 5% of the 355. FHA borrower, 3.5% of the 355. You see where I'm going?
VA 100%.
VA 100%. So it just depends on standard guidelines for down payment for renovation loans, just like a standard loan. So nothing different, nothing corny because it's a renovation transaction. Yes, sir.
You have to bring cash to the table, or can you use equity from your rehab to figure it down?
For a purchase-
To meet the loan value?
Yep, for a purchase transaction, always have to bring the required amount of money. Doesn't matter. Always required down payment on purchase transactions. Now, for refinance transactions, you can use that after approved value with the potential equity that's in that property to offset that. But for purchase transactions, you have to bring the required down, regardless, just like you would for a standard loan. So what does it look like? We'll take your $300,000 purchase contract borrowers and seller have agreed upon. The buyer will go get an estimate, in my example, for the $50,000. I need a detailed estimate from a contractor for those said repairs. Who picks the contractor? Borrower picks the contractor. Do I pick the contractor? No, I do not. I'm not allowed to pick the contractor. Can you as realtor partners help the borrower? Absolutely. Can you suggest? Absolutely. Care less. I don't pick them. So the borrower will go get an estimate for the $50,000 detailed estimate. We'll take that $300,000 purchase contract plus that detailed estimate for the $50,000, give that to the appraiser. Appraiser will go out to the property and give us a subject to value for what that property would be worth once all those repairs have been completed. Pretty cool if you think about that. We're giving them equity credit into a transaction up front before they even close. You heard me say the 10% contingency reserve, which is based off the repair amounts. That is baked into the loan. So we're allowing them to finance that. That 10% contingency reserve is there for unforeseen issues. So for example, within that $50,000 of repairs that they're doing, contractor goes in, they're doing new floors and a new kitchen. Contractor goes in, rips out the floors, rips out the kitchen, lo and behold, underneath the dishwasher and behind the dishwasher, floor and walls shot. Rotten, right? That would be an unforeseen issue. Does it happen? Sure it happens. They can use that $5,000 in contingency reserve to take care of those unforeseen issues that popped up throughout the renovation period. Pretty cool. Any guesses on how many different renovation repair escrow loans we currently offer? Any guesses?
Just one.
One? Anybody else? We offer 23. 23 different renovation escrow loan programs. This is where it kind of gets cool. So 23 different renovation loan programs, good for 5 different borrower types. What do I mean by that? Borrower type meaning these loans are good for FHA, VA, USDA, conventional, and jumbo borrowers. So all those 5 different borrower types can participate within renovation repair escrow loans. Here's the other great thing about renovation transactions. I do not care about the condition of the property. I don't care. doesn't have to have a front door, it doesn't have to have windows, it can have a hole in the roof. We close in the current condition with all repairs always to be completed post-close. That's pretty cool. So now I ask a question to you guys, especially the realtors in the room. Do any of you never or don't show certain properties to certain borrowers because of the condition of the property? Most of the time, realtors always shake their head yes, right? So if you've got a veteran that you're dealing with, you won't show them to a certain property. Why? Because you know the VA appraiser is going to kill the appraisal, right? Any appraisers in the room? So they'll kill that deal. Well, with VA renovation loans, I'm going to take that purchase contract plus that detailed estimate, give that to the appraiser, and they're going to go out and give us a subject to value with all repairs to be completed post-close. Pretty cool, really, if you think about it. All these different borrowers are now eligible to purchase properties regardless of condition. I'll pump the brakes for a second, see if anybody has any questions.
If that appraisal doesn't come in on target, then what happens?
Same thing would happen if they weren't doing renovation. They would have to pay the difference,
Okay.
maybe drop the repairs down, basically to make it work.
Okay.
I'll answer that in another way. I had to answer your question first. There's 3 reasons why appraisals do not come in high enough for renovation loans. 3, and this is across 50 states. 3 reasons. Number 1 reason, contractors gouging the borrower. Any contractors in the room? So I'll lean this way so I can get out that door. But number 1, contractors are gouging the borrowers, right? So people always ask me, how many estimates do I require? I only require 1. But do I would suggest the borrower get more than 1? Sure. To make sure that that number 1 doesn't happen, right? So a contractor's not gouging the borrower. That's number 1 reason. It's not necessarily number 1 reason, just one of 3 reasons. Number 2 reason, appraiser doesn't know what they're doing. Very rare if that happens. If it does happen, we look at the appraisal, we'll dig into it and see, like, for example, appraiser will not even put the estimate in the body of the appraisal. Well, it's a problem. So then we'd have to call the appraiser and say, hey, appraiser, what are you doing? We're doing a renovation loan subject to add these repairs to the body of the appraisal. 3rd reason, borrower is over improving the property. So for example, a borrower is trying to buy a property in a certain marketplace where there's a bunch of 3-bed, 1-bath homes, and the borrower wants to throw a brand new 4-stall garage in the backyard. It's gonna be hard to get comparable properties for 3-bed, 1-bath with a brand new 4-stall garage in the backyard for all these toys. So borrower's over improving. So here's another question to you guys. Across all 50 states, pre-COVID, during COVID, whatever COVID we're in right now, what percentage of my loans come in undervalue with value issues? Just a percentage. Anybody have a guess?
50.
50? Anybody else?
5.
5? By the way, if it was 50, I wouldn't be standing here, I'd be out of a job. 30? I'd be fired as well. It's 2.7%. 2.7% of my total loans come in undervalued. And by the way, out of that 2.7, one of those 3 reasons always apply. The big one's the 3rd. Borrower's over improving. Borrower over improving is a big one. That's where we would approach a realtor partner and say, hey, what they're doing to this property, what do you think? All right, and you could give me what you just gave me right there. No. Or whatever the case may be. But then we work through that. But ultimately, to answer your question, if a value does come in low, we look at those 3 reasons, we might have to cut something off. Or if a borrower said, we're gonna throw in all brand new appliances, let's drop those off, you can get those on your own at a later date, or whatever the case may be. But 2.7% of the time, that's not bad. 50, I'd be fired. 30, fired. But 2.7, we'll work with that. Yeah.
What kind of detail does the appraiser need to do that after repair value as far as the bid goes?
So details, I just need to know details. So let's just say, for example, they're doing brand new floors and a brand new kitchen in this house. What kind of floors are we doing? Are we doing linoleum? Are we doing hardwoods? Doing slate? In the kitchen, are we doing slate floors or linoleum? Are we doing Formica countertops or concrete countertops? Whatever we're doing. So the more the detail, the better, because we all know that appraiser's got to get us better comparable properties. So the more the detail, the better. I mean, I don't need to know down to quantities. I don't need to know that much detail. but I just need to know exactly what they're doing. You almost have to put your appraiser hat on and say, okay, I'm looking at this house, it's in, not good shape, just need some TLC. What would bring this back up? Give me those type of details so they can go out and get good comparable properties. That help you?
Is he sorry.
Is there a final appraisal that takes place once the project's completed?
No,
No?
one appraisal. One appraisal, one loan, one closing. This is not a two-time close. This is a one loan, one closing process.
Inspections.
Yeah, I'll go on that in a minute.
So is the appraisal more expensive?
Nope,
It's all the same.
same, and they come straight off the same panel that the local branch would use. It's just certain appraisers would be on there saying, yes, they are 203K or renovation eligible, and they take the deal.
Is 30 days the typical closing?
Well, it didn't take long for somebody to ask that question. So I'm gonna answer in two ways. So the question, I'm not sure if you guys heard over there, how long does it take to close the loans? I think you said, what, 30 days?
Yeah.
So I always ask realtor partners to put on a contract 45 to 60 days. Why?
Takes time for the estimates.
Exactly. I mean, it's all about the estimate with my loans. It's all about the estimate. I'll go a little deeper on that just in a second. But I tell everybody 45 to 60 days because I can't order the appraisal without the detailed estimate, right? The contractor's got to get to us. Well, I can't always throw the contractor under the bus because it also could be the borrower's problem, right? I'm currently renovating my house. My wife wants input from me on backsplash. I don't give a shit. I just don't care, right? I'm just paying, excuse my language, but I don't care. I want her to be happy. And I mean, I've been married for 26 years. Whatever I'm doing the right thing, right? So I just want her to be happy and let's just move along. But she wants me involved. I could be involved, but at the same time, I'm going to say something wrong. So borrower has to tell contractor what type of backsplash or what type of floors or what, and so they're going back and forth. So I've got to have that detailed estimate. So 45, 60 days is what I asked for. But again, here's a question from me to you. Again, pre-COVID, during COVID, current situation, wherever we're in, across 50 states, how long does it take us to close a renovation, repair, escrow loan? You guesses? Come on, you killed me last time, kill me.
47 days.
47 days, anybody else?
33.
33? We're currently at 29 days. Currently at 29 days. Why is it at 29 days? I'll tell you why it's at 29 days. You have a standard loan that most of you have all been involved with. Standard loan. You need W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements, any LOXs, standard stuff. Renovation loan needs the same stuff, but I need 2 additional items. So you got the standard items that everybody knows we need, but for a renovation loan, I need the standard items as well, and I need 2 additional things. Detailed estimate from a contractor the borrower picks. Quicker I get that, quicker I can make sure the numbers are good, quicker I can order the appraisal. And the second thing is, I need documentation from the contractor. What do I need from the contractor? Real simple, real easy. It's actually in your packet, but I'll go ahead and do it this way because this is the way I like to do it. I like to talk about this and then we buzz through this through these paperwork because I don't like the paperwork. I need a detailed estimate from the contractor. I need insurance. Obviously, the contractor's going to be working on this property. I need to make sure that they have insurance in case something happens to them. I need a license from the contractor, if applicable, for the state, county, city, or local municipality. Whatever's required is what I require. If it's not required, I don't. Makes it very, very easy on me. If it is required, I require it. If it's not, I don't. I need to fill out a W-9. Fill out a W-9 for tax purposes. Obviously, I'm paying labor. I have to report that. So if I pay the contractor labor, he knows I've reported it. You got to make sure you're up and up with the tax guy. Homeowner contractor agreement. That's it. That information comes back to us, along with the detailed estimate. Then you're off to the races. Then it's basically just a standard loan. Now, did I just make it sound simple and easy? Yeah, I did. Is it? It can. It's all about that detailed estimate. All about that detailed estimate, getting that borrower on the same page with the contractor, everybody going in the same way. Any questions?
Is
It says here about 30% paid up front, so it allows, you're talking, if it was $50,000, $15,000, you guys would pay the contractor up front?
Correct.
What you're talking about?
Correct, as long as the borrower allows it. So we'll only give the contractor whatever the borrower signs off on. I will give them a max of 30% of the total estimate up front, if the borrower says yes. So some borrowers are like, no, I don't wanna give them that much money. Well, that's okay, we'll give them less, but you and your contractor be on the same page on what you're gonna get. Most of them don't care, but 30% up front, and then we pay off progress from that point going forward. So, for example, we have $100,000, just to make math easy for the guy from West Virginia, $100,000 in total renovation costs. We close loan, I will give $30,000 to contractor. So there's 70 left. They started to do repairs, they're working along. Now they're ready to get paid based off of progress that they've completed. They will fill out a draw request form. They'll get an email from corporate, 3rd floor of Dallas. My disbursement specialist will send the borrower and the contractor an email stating the next steps. There'll be a draw request form in there stating contractor will fill out this draw request form stating they've finished A, B, and C repairs. I'm ready to be paid X. Contractor signs it. Gives it to the borrower. Borrower looks and says, yes, you have completed A, B, and C. Pay them X. They sign it. They send that back to 3rd floor corporate. I do not trust the borrowing contractor. I will send an inspector out to the property to check off on said repairs. They'll go out there and say, yes, you have completed A, B, and C. Pay them X. They send that back to corporate. If I get that by noon central, I will wire money directly to the contractor within 48 hours. So we'll wire money directly to the contractor. By the way, any realtor partners in the room, you're not involved in this process. Once the loan closes, you're done. So you'll get paid your commission off the $300,000. I'll take that $55,000. I'll hold on to it in Dallas. You guys go get lost. Go golfing, go to Target, go get drunk, I don't care. I'll manage that $55,000 from that point going forward to pay that contractor as the repairs are being completed. So you won't be involved in that process.
Like the time period, when they have to start the renovations, when they have to be completed.
So, sorry, this is probably gonna be the first time I've said this. I've got 23 different loan programs. Some of the bigger loan programs allow 6 months to get the repairs completed post-close. Some of them are less, obviously for the smaller. So if somebody just wants to throw a roof on, they're gonna be done within a week of closing. Okay, great. So it just depends on which loan program.
Do you prefer like a general contractor, one contractor that handle the whole project, or can somebody be their own GC and hire a roofer, a plumber, you know, whatever they need?
Yeah, so I always prefer a GC because it's easier, and then a GC can hire 20 subs,
Yeah.
right? Because then I'm gonna pay the GC, and I only have to get one package paperwork. But if that's not the case, so in a lot of markets, I'm not sure about here, but a lot of markets, a lot of people don't even know what GC stands for. So there's no GCs. So we'll allow up to 3 individual contractors. So if somebody wants to do a brand new kitchen, plumbing repairs, electrical repairs, I would have to have 3 packets. So I'll allow either or, but GC is usually always the easiest way to go, for the paperwork purposes.
Sure.
Yeah, yes ma'am.
The inspector that you're talking about, is that your inspector, or is it the city inspector that inspects as a firm?
No, it's either the appraiser or a third party vendor. Or a third party vendor, not me. It's totally, so if it's appraiser or third party vendor, same difference.
And so who pays for that?
It's all rolled into one renovation fee, so I'll answer a question that you kind of asked in a roundabout way. What are my fees? I'm gonna go ahead and answer a couple questions for you guys. What kind of fees are you looking at for a renovation loan? Again, sorry, 23 different loan programs. Smaller repair amounts could be as cheap as a fee of $250. So that's clear down here for the smaller ones. The larger jobs, meaning $400,000, $500,000 worth of repairs, doesn't matter. That fee is $900. All the renovation fees take care of project review, all title updates, all inspections, including the final inspections. All of that's rolled together into one single fee. making it a lot easier for the borrower to understand, the realtor partner to understand. You've got your standard closing cost plus one fee, making it pretty handy.
No
I'll ask
matter whether they get or girls or one, like, it doesn't matter how many times you send the inspector out.
Doesn't matter. $900. You're getting 900.
How do you get an inspector to go out with your clients for $900? Aren't you coming up short?
That's why I charge $900 regardless of 1 or 4 or 5. We're not a profit center, so my department is strictly there for admin type activities. We're not making money on it, which you kind of just said out loud. We're not making money on the back end, collecting $900. No, I'm not making any money. We're just wanting to do the loans, keep the contractors happy, get the borrowers happy, get the repairs completed, move on next. Next loan, go from there. So we're not a profit center. Because I think my average competitor right now is thinking about $3,200 a loan in fees, which I know why they do that, which is fine. I mean, it's just the way it just is what it is. But yes, sir.
So if the borrower and the contractor get the piston match,
Yeah.
what happens then?
It depends how big of a piston match it is. Worst case scenario, they need to lawyer up. Because
The bottom line is, though, you're not gonna make a disbursement until the borrower signs off on it.
Thank you.
They're gonna control the money flow.
Thank you. What are you doing tomorrow? You coming with me to my next Because you're spot on. I'm not releasing money until they have signed off on it. But if I've seen some piston matches, I've seen some. Not as many as you would think that I see. But it happens. That's why I want the thorough, detailed estimate to where we're just not going in with a napkin saying I'm doing, a 10 by 15 kitchen for $30,000. Negative. No, I need a little more information than that. Therefore, the contractor's involved and they understand what's going on. By the way, contractors love it because I'm paying that potentially 30% up front. Pay a contractor 30% up front, they can get really a ton of repairs completed promptly. I'll ask another question from you guys to me. What is the average rate difference on a renovation transaction? I can't give you the exact because I manage all 50 states, so there's different margin lines, but the easiest way for me to tell you guys is about 1/4 to 1/2 higher in rate for a renovation transaction than a standard loan. Now, do I think that's bad? No. Because think about this. It's a pretty cool loan, meaning I'm giving you equity credit in the property before you even buy it. If I was a smart man, I would trademark this, what I'm getting ready to say. Renovation transactions are basically a cash out purchase. If you think about it, it's a cash out purchase. Because I'm giving you equity credit for all those repairs that you're gonna get completed before you close. Ultimately, that's what it is. And there's a little bit of risk, hence the reason why the 1/4 to 1/2 higher in the rate. Any other questions?
Most of my clients, when they start looking at a house, the reason they want to go a renovation loan and the reason they're asking about it is because they can do everything themselves. And they tell me, they start going through it, and I say, well, with the renovation, you're gonna not be able to do everything. And they start asking, can they paint? Can they do flooring? Can they put in a vanity? What are they? Because they're trying to get up on the process and make more money.
Yeah.
So how does that fall into it?
So you're referring to what we call self-help. That's what we call it in my world. We have loans that will allow a borrower to do self-help to the property, if they're not a contractor by trade. If they're not a contractor by trade, you can go up to 10% of the after improved value in total repair cost. One thing always to know is if you're going to do your own repairs, I'm gonna have you still finance materials plus labor, which most borrowers don't like. Well, I don't really care if they like it or not, and I'll tell you why. I'm gonna have them finance repairs plus labor, and everybody's gonna look at me and go, it makes sense. Because what happens if that borrower breaks both of their legs in a car accident and can't put that vanity in a timely manner?
Okay, and is it that?
So then I'd have to hire a contractor to do it, so therefore that's why the labor would be there. I've got options for self-help. Another good thing too, I always like to make sure everybody gets out of this is you don't need to know about all 23 of my loan programs. Now, don't do that. You don't have to do that. All you need to know is if you have a borrower or a property, or a borrower looking at a property that's got either required or desired repairs, or you have a property that's got either required or desired repairs that somebody's looking at, bring it to us, and we'll help you. It's about the only thing you need to really remember about all of this. It's because there's too much to remember. Your scenario, your situation, bring that to, I think you deal with Shelley, bring that to Shelley. Shelley will answer you, and if she can't find the answer, Shelley's gonna email me, and then we'll figure it out. Just bring the scenarios directly to us, because again, 23 different loan programs, that's good and bad. It's good because I got 23 options, but it's bad because I got 23 different options. It's just, there's a lot that I'm throwing at you.
Can you talk, so you talked about in the beginning with renovation, you don't care how the property looks, right, to lend the money. But on a purchase transaction, is there a time where occupancy is an issue? So you've got, can you have the borrower living in the home while the repairs are being done? Where is that line for occupancy? Is there ever a time where they can't live in the property while the repairs are being done? For instance, a hole in the roof, right?
Yeah. So I'll answer that two ways. Do I have rules for how quickly you have to occupy the property? With some of the loan programs, it's a smaller loan program, like 203K limited, you have to occupy within 30 days. Because those repairs are cosmetic only. So you can live in a house if it's got cosmetic repairs only. But if you are going into a house and gutting it, ripping out all the insulation, all the drywall, and going brand new, you can't live there, right? I don't care, that's fine. Don't live there. Wait, it's okay. I mean, as long as your repairs are done within 6 months of closing, perfect. To help you?
Yep.
So basically, you got both situations covered. And again, it would depend on which loan program that you're using. That would be where somebody would bring it to me, and I would tell you which loan program is best suited for this particular borrower's needs, requirements, and go from there.
In that scenario you just gave, what if the work's not done in the 6 months?
If it's not done within 6 months, there's potential extension fees being charged.
Okay.
If it's not for a good reason. What would be a good reason? Good reason, weathering. Material delay,
Yeah.
right? So you guys probably all imagine COVID times for me in this job, oh my goodness. I mean, it makes me want to smoke cigarettes and drink beer. It's crazy. I mean, it's just because we just couldn't get anything in. You just couldn't, everything was delayed. So those are legitimate reasons. If somebody's late and delayed and they don't let me know until 5 months, 3 weeks, so I'm gonna need an extension, I don't wanna pay. Sorry, you've been cash for the ghost for 5.5 months, you haven't told me what the problem is, it's things like that. It's just gotta make sense. And then does that happen? Sure, it happens. Borrowers change their mind, contractors get delayed, materials get delayed, whatever the case may be. Any other questions?
Out of your 23 products, do you have any that work for investment properties?
Yeah, 3 programs out of my 23 are good for investment properties. All of them obviously are conventional loan programs. 2 of them are good for 1 unit only. 1 of them is good for up to 4 units, 4 unit investment properties. I don't really care for that one, but I'll go through it here in a minute when we go through programs in detail, kind of let you know what you can and cannot do.
Do they need an LLC?
No, can't be an LLC. Get that question a lot. Cannot.